Hello students, today we will study Ampere's law and its applications. Until now we have studied the Biot-Savart law to find the magnetic field intensity that is indicated by H at any particular point due to current carrying conductor. Now we will try to find the same magnetic field intensity H with the help of Ampere's circuit law. It is simpler way to find the magnetic field intensity. We have studied the Gauss law in electrostatics. That was the alternative way to find the electric field intensity at any particular point. Similarly, Ampere's law playing same role in magnetostatics. When current carrying conductor is there, then from that conductor we will try to find the magnetic field intensity at any particular point. Now let us try to understand the definition of Ampere's circuit law. That is Ampere's circuit law. It states that the line integral of H around a closed path is equal to the current enclosed by that closed path. So for example, this is a closed path in which current I1 is flowing here, I2 is flowing, I3 is flowing. Then the line integral of magnetic field intensity H dot dl line integral for the closed path will be equal to the current enclosed by the closed path, and the current enclosed is the sum of all the currents with their proper sign. So this is the mathematical presentation of Ampere's circuit law. So if we can write that this law states that the line integral of magnetic field intensity H around a closed path is equal to the current enclosed by the path. Enclosed by the path. Definition is very simple. So according to definition, H dot dl will be current enclosed. Okay, so this is the Ampere's circuit law. One point should be noted here. This equation, that is H dot dl is equal to I enclosed, it holds good regardless of the current distribution is symmetrical or not. But we can use this equation to determine H only when a symmetrical distribution exists. So keep this thing in mind, and according to this, Ampere's circuit law, that is this, is a special case of Biot-Savart law. And this current enclosed, in case of line current, we can say it can be written as JL dot DL. In case of surface current, we can write JS dot DS In case of volume current, we know JV, dV. We have this relationship and we have discussed these equations already. And from here, if the surface current is there, in that case, we can write I enclosed will be equal to the J dot ds for the surface current. If this line integral can be transformed into surface integral, then we can have one important relationship. To find that, let us transform into surface integral, and to transform into surface integral, we have one theorem that is known as Stokes theorem. So with the help of Stokes theorem, this line integral can be transformed into surface integral. On the basis of that, we can write the H dot dl will be equal to the del cross H dot ds. We have discussed this equation already, and we have one equation here, another equation here. Relate these two equations, then we can say this is nothing, just I enclosed. So what if we relate this, then we can say J will be equal to del cross H. From there we can write is equal to J. This is very important relationship. It has its specific name, that is Maxwell's third equation. Third equation. Okay. It is derived by Maxwell, so on his name it is named Maxwell third equation, and it is in differential form. So we can say this is Ampere's law in differential form. In differential form. Okay, and we have this equation, this is in integral form. So we can say this is Ampere's law in integral form and Ampere's law in differential form. Okay, from here we have relationship, that is del cross H is equal to current density, surface current density, that is J, and we know that the curl of any vector is represented by del cross the vector, and if it is not zero, means if there is any current, it is not equal to 0, J, this is not equal to 0, then we have one specific term for this, that is if it is 0, then the field H will be conservative, and if it is not 0, then the field H will be non-conservative. But if no current is enclosed, in that case it will be 0, as there is no current enclosed. So in this case field H is irrotational. Relate this with unit 1. This was named as curl, and if curl is 0, it means the rotational nature of field is not there. So that is why it is termed as irrotational. And if it is not 0, it means rotational or non-conservative field is there. So it is also termed as rotational. Field is rotational as well, this one, and this is field is H is irrotational. Okay. Now recall the electric field case. There we have studied del cross electric field E. When it was 0, then it was conservative. Now let us discuss applications of Ampere's law. Okay. Now we will apply Ampere's law to determine H for symmetrical current distribution as we did for Gauss law. We will consider an infinite line current, an infinite sheet of current, and an infinite long coaxial transmission line. In all the cases, we will apply H dot dl is equal to I enclosed to find the magnetic field intensity in all the cases. So we will consider an infinite line current. So an infinite line current is considered, that is, this is line current in the direction of Z. Current, you can say I is flowing. Okay, this is of infinite length, and this is Y, X and Z. So if we consider this, where an infinite long current I along the Z axis is there, and to find the magnetic field intensity H at any point, that is, you can say, okay, take it here at point P, then we allow a closed path to pass through P, that is, this is closed path that pass through P, similar to the Gauss law. This closed path is known as the Amperian path. Okay, so this path is known as Amperian path. So in all the cases, either is line conductor or surface conductor or volume conductor, in any case we have to consider an Amperian path that is analogous to the Gaussian surface, as we have done in electrostatics. So we choose a concentric circle as the Amperian path as shown here, and H is constant provided rho is constant. Okay, we will choose the path like that, and since this path encloses the whole current, so according to that, as we have studied Ampere's law, from this definition will be equal to the I enclosed, and H is at any point, we know, if this is dl, the current is flowing in this direction. At this point we will apply the thumb rule, and the direction of the H will be in the direction of the curling of the finger, so that is in the direction of phi. So what we can write here, H will be H phi in the direction of A phi, or we can write H in the direction of A phi, and dl will be What is dl? An element, current element, it is in the direction of, it is increasing in this direction, it will be in the direction of phi, and it is if any small portion of, if we are taking dl, then that is nothing, rho d phi. Okay, that will be dl. So dl can be written as rho d phi. So rho d phi, and that is for closed path from here to the here. It means now phi is varying, and that is the I enclosed. Okay, and from here what we can say, a phi, it will be in the direction of a phi as well. This is the direction of the flux, so it will be in the direction of a phi. So a phi dot a phi, it will give us 1, and the remaining thing will be rho h phi rho d phi will be I. Okay, and d phi is nothing, just angle from x, so it vary from here to complete the circle, so it will vary from 0 to 2 pi. We can write h will be 2 pi rho, d phi will be 2 pi, rho will be I, and from here we can say h will be I divided by 2 pi rho. That we have derived with the help of Biot-Savart law. In any infinite length current, line current, the magnetic field intensity at any observer point P that was at radius rho from the line conductor was I divided by 2 pi rho, that we have derived from here. And the direction of the H is nothing, in the direction of the curling of the finger, that is in the direction of a phi. In this way, this is the simplest way to find the magnetic field intensity at any particular point with the help of Ampere's law. This is very simple. Here one limitation is there, that we cannot apply this for finite length of the conductor. This is valid for infinite length only.